Have you ever wondered what a $22,000 house looks like? I mean, I know you're scrolling through Instagram, you're scrolling through YouTube, and you hear real estate investors saying they're buying houses for $5,000, $20,000. You know, for some of you guys, it seems almost crazy that someone would be able to buy a property for $50,000. Well, today I'm actually in front of my $22,000 house, and I wanted to give you guys an update on it. You know, there's been several stages where I've had somebody living here, you know, renting it out at a low rate. You know, when I first purchased it, I didn't have a bunch of money to do a lot, but I was just doing little things that I could do. But now we're at this point where I'm fixing it all the way up. And I wanted to show you guys and give you guys the update that you've been looking for, what the actual numbers like, where we are today. Let's get it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Sawan Belcher. This is me taking action right here on YouTube. If you guys wanted to get into real estate investing, you guys can download my free purchase agreement at thisismetakinaction.com. I've used this contract to buy hundreds of houses with plenty of equity and cash flow. So no matter if you want your next personal property, rental property, Airbnb, or group home, you can use this contract and lock up your next deal. Okay, now this right here is my $22,000 property that I purchased in Greensboro, North Carolina. So the way that I found this property is not through the traditional means. It was going off market and doing off market marketing. Now, the way I found it, just so you can repeat it, is using a little app called Deal Machine. You can actually click the affiliate link below, dealmachine.com/takeinaction for a discount, so you can use it. But the strategy I used at that time, because I was working at the car dealership, I actually got this property in my CRM, you can call it. I was working at the dealership, and my strategy for finding motivated sellers at the time was driving around on my lunch break, adding properties to the Deal Machine app, sending those people mail, and then giving them calls and text messaging. Now, it did take me years, you know, to get this property after I finally connected with the seller, but I would call, I sent mail to him for 3 years, and finally this guy started selling me a lot of properties. Okay, and this is one of those. Now, the timing that I started purchasing from him was during a timing where everybody thought everything was wrong. So I'm telling you this because the news might not say it's a good time to buy, or your friend or your mom might not say things is good right now, or there might be a storm or catastrophe or interest rates or whatever it is saying that now is not the time to buy. But whenever I hear that, what I hear is there's less competition in the market, and now it's your time to market heavily. So with this address, you know, and with this seller's name being in my CRM, being in my database, I used this particular time to market, you know, heavily. I remember, you know, using credit cards to market extremely heavy, and just literally based on faith, you know, like I just knew that this was going to be a time. And I've done this several times. You just overspend on marketing because I'm in alignment with God. I already know what the deal is. So marketed heavily via phone and mail. And this seller sold me a package of 5 houses, each of them being about $22,000 to $25,000. And this is the $22,000 house that I picked up from him. Honestly, when I bought it, like I said, it was a time of devastation, you know, so we didn't really have a lot of money at that time, but I was able to get it at such a good deal that I figured I can just do the little that I could do at the time. Now, I raised money for it. I was doing $35,000 notes at the time. So that left me like $10,000 or $11,000 to do some fixed up. So my HVAC guy gave me a screaming crazy deal. I don't know where he got the HVAC from, and I didn't ask no questions, but he got that to me for $2,500. Mr. Plata did the roof for like $3,800. And then I did some light fixtures and stuff like that, and a new water heater, you know, and with the rest of the funds that I had, and took a small fee. I rented out the property for extremely low, you know, because it still needed a lot of work past that, you know, for about $650. And I've been collecting that every month late for the last, you know, 2 years. But finally, when I got tired of them and I had some extra money, you know, I sent them a notice, and now here we are doing a complete renovation and bringing it back up to speed. Now, like I said, when I first got the property, I think we put about $9 grand into it. We've collected $650 a month for the plus late fees over the last 2 years. And now I've refinanced the property twice, pulled out my original, $9,000 that I put in, and I pulled out another 15. Right, so I'm in the positive, as far as how much money I've made on it. And now we're doing we're doing the windows now. I did the floors, I did some plumbing. We're doing the back porch, putting in kitchen cabinets and some countertops. And today I actually showed a tenant. We're still not done. We're about 2 weeks from being done, but I showed it to a tenant today, and they gave me a deposit on $1,100 a month, on rent. And so I figured I'd show you guys what the house looked like. Let's get it. So this property, you can see we still need to clean up the front a little bit, and that is the original door. But we went through first because the property was just terrible. Because the walls, it had baseboard heating none of them worked. Honestly, the tenants was using the oven to heat up the property when we first bought it until we put the HVAC in. They had a bunch of pets, including roaches, but they also had a dog that dug out the floor. So we put a bunch of new subfloor down. We put a bunch of new joists down. And when you're doing that kind of work, if you're going to spend money on the foundation, you got to make it, look pretty good. So we spent time moving the water heater from over here in the kitchen, because in a lot of older houses, you'll see, especially rental houses, you'll see the water heater right in the kitchen, because that makes it easier for maintenance and all that good stuff. And I paid money to have it moved to this particular closet over here. And then of course you see that I spent the extra money to get the cabinets. Now, whenever you're doing joists, you're doing floors, you're painting the house fully, you're putting cabinets in. I'm actually putting in quartz countertops, because you see I got the corner sink, and the way granite holds a load. Anytime you got a corner sink, you always want to go with quartz, because granite does not like corner sinks. It will break. But whenever you're doing that, that gives you more value that you're providing to the potential tenant, and they will pay more because it's a nicer place, and realistically, the person who's willing to pay you, like in my market, the average rent is like $1,000. So if you're under the average rent, that person is going to have their dog poop in your living room and not necessarily care. If you're above the average rent, they're more likely to keep it clean. They're more likely to have a better job. They're more likely to, cut the grass because they want it nicer. They're more likely to plant flowers, and increase your property. So when you add those things, you're more than likely going to get a better quality person, and you're going to get a better cash flow rent, which means, this is the last step of the BRRRR process. You buy the property, you renovate the property, you rent the property out, then you refinance. So which means if we can get more, right, the more rent we can get, realistically, the more the property will be worth, and also the more we'll be able to refinance it. Because honestly, whenever I'm putting in 20 grand, 25 grand into a property like this, me personally, I'm refinancing that bad boy so I can get my $25,000 out, pay my bills, or do another turn. Most of the time I'm doing another turn. So that way we can continue to rinse and repeat that same money, right? So the way those mortgages work is their debt service coverage ratio loans. So meaning that the rent covers the debt, covers the mortgage plus 25%. And so essentially that's how much mortgage you can afford. And that monthly payment tells the bank that's how much money they'll be able to refinance. And if you do it just right, a lot of the times you'll be zero money in each house, and you can continue to roll that money over like I'm saying right now, or you'll be able to walk away with money every time you do a turn. And typically that's kind of where I am. With the higher interest rates, I've been at like $5,000 or $10,000 cash out. But, the year of COVID, 2019, 2020, oh man, it was 20 grand cash out. It was crazy. So, but look, this is kind of our update on our $22,000 house. You see where we are, where our original purchase price was $22,000. The first time we did a rehab, we invested $9,000. Now we're investing $25,000 in, for a total whopping value of $135,000 right now. And I think that's a conservative side, but $135,000 value. So if you guys want to get into real estate investing, you know, be able to make money literally in your sleep while you're at work, while you're washing your car, hanging out with your lady. You know, follow and subscribe to the channel so that way you guys can learn how to dominate your market and replace your 9-to-5 income with real estate investing. Peace, y'all.